Hello viewers, today is July 27, 2024. I'm here to discuss about the US presidential elections 2024. Today I would like to discuss about this topic of whether Trump will replace JD Vance as his VP. And so to discuss about this, I would like to see whether this has happened before. So let's go back to history and look at it from an historical perspective. Um, so in 1800, Thomas Jefferson ran with Aaron Burr as his vice presidential candidate. But in 1804, when he ran for re-election, he replaced him with George Clinton. So on his re-election, he replaced the VP candidate. Similarly, when Abraham Lincoln ran in 1860, he ran with Hannibal Hamlin as his VP candidate. But in 1864, when he ran again in 1864, he replaced him with Andrew Jackson. Then we look at the presidency of Franklin Delano Roosevelt. He won the election 4 times. So in the first 2 times, in 1932 and 1936, he ran with John Nance Garner Fifth, and both times he ran with him, and they won. But in the third time, he ran with Henry Agard Wallace. But on the fourth time, he replaced him with Harry Truman. But unfortunately, he did not serve the fourth term. He served only for a month or so because he died, and Harry Truman took over. Then in 1972, George McGovern was the Democratic candidate for president, and he chose Thomas Eagleton as his vice president. But a few days after he chose him, and there were some news that Thomas Eagleton was going through depression and he was taking some medication, and there were some news saying that he's not medically fit to serve as a vice president. So initially, both George McGovern and Thomas Eagleton were very defiant. In fact, George McGovern said that I'm going to be in the kitchen. I'm going to take the heat, and I'm not going to get out of the kitchen. Similarly, Thomas Eagleton was equally defiant, and he said that I'm going to continue this race. I'm going to be in the ticket, and we are going to win, and I'm going to be the vice president of the United States. But that did not happen. 17 days afterwards, George McGovern replaced him with Sergeant Shriver. So that's up until 72. Then there were some close calls after that. For that, we should go to 1992, when George Herbert Walker Bush was running for re-election along with Dan Quayle. At that time, some of the Republican operatives wanted to replace Dan Quayle with someone else. In fact, specifically, the then Secretary of State James Baker wanted to replace Dan Quayle because he felt that Dan Quayle is a drag on the ticket. He's very unpopular. But George H.W. Bush did not do that. They went on with the same ticket, and they went on to lose that campaign to Bill Clinton and Al Gore. Then in 2004, George W. Bush, this time, in his own book, has written that he contemplated replacing Dick Cheney as a VP. And the reason and rationale that he gave was that he wanted to prove to the country that he is his own man, he is running the country himself, and he is strong enough to run the country, and it is not Dick Cheney who is running the country. But then, according to him, after careful thought and consideration, he didn't replace Dick Cheney, and they went on to beat John Kerry and John Edwards in 2004. Then the other interesting election, which is also a near miss in terms of replacing a VP, is, I wouldn't call it a near miss, but still there were some talk of Barack Obama replacing Joe Biden with Hillary Clinton. But this was not made official by any campaign or anyone like that. But the aides of Obama contemplated replacing Joe Biden with Hillary Clinton in early 2011. That was because in 2010, Democrats lost a lot of seats in the midterm election. In fact, Barack Obama famously said that I got a shellacking. So just after that election in early 2011, his popularity rating was not great, and the aides wanted to shake up the campaign for re-election and see if they can bring in Hillary Clinton. But I do not know whether this initiative reached the ears of Barack Obama or not, but nevertheless, there were some talk. So now let's come to 2024. Um, I was the one here in this program who have said that JD Vance is a do no harm pick, and I still stand by that. And I still feel that Trump will not change his VP candidate selection. He will stick with JD Vance. And I will give you three reasons for that. One is Trump always would like to project strength, and he wants to project that he's a very strong man. So if you really look at it, even 2 weeks ago, when there was an assassination attempt on him, he just got up and he said, fight, fight, fight. So he would like to project that kind of a strength to his supporters, his base, and anyone who wants to vote for him. So I don't think he will go and admit that he made a mistake and replace JD Vance. That's number one. Number two, I don't think that Trump truly believes that VP pick is going to really help or hurt him, because he thinks that the party is his, people are going to vote for Trump, uh, and if he wins, he will claim that they won because of him. If he loses, he's going to say that I did not lose. So it is kind of win-win for him, right? He's going to say that, no matter what, this is my party, I will win. If I win, I win. If I lose, somebody has opposition has done something and they have rigged the election or something like that. So he's not going to worry about whether JD Vance is a drag on the ticket or not. So that's the second reason. And the third reason, which is very important from my viewpoint, is I strongly feel that Trump is positioning Trump Jr. as the presidential nominee for 2028. He's going to try to install Trump Jr. as the nominee in 2028. So what is the best way to do that? He does not want any career politician to be his running mate, right? So if he wins in 2024, he cannot serve another term. So he's going to ask Trump Jr. he's going to pass the baton to Trump Jr. If he loses, then he's still going to make sure or try to make sure that Trump Jr. becomes a nominee. So J.D. Vance is a good pick from that perspective, because he's not going to rebel against Trump, and he doesn't have enough political background or experience to rebel against him. If he picks up any other candidate, like a senator from South Carolina, or a governor from North Dakota, or a popular congresswoman from New York, he's going to face issues. So he doesn't want to give that number two slot to somebody who is very political and who might be able to come and pick up the nomination in 2028. So that's another reason I think Donald Trump will not change his VP pick. That's my take for today. I'll come back to you with another program. Take care. Bye.